Hey YouTube, welcome to another episode of Nurse Nikki is Learning to Draw. I'm Nurse Nikki and today I'm going to be drawing a tang fish and also telling you guys a story about how my fish taught me a lesson about never giving up. So if you're interested, please stay tuned. Okay, so here you see I'm drawing a tang fish, pretty much just going ahead and doing the big shape of the fish and then eventually going in and doing some of the details. I did try to do a realistic drawing with this one and I hope it turned out all right. And then I did try to do some kind of crazy stuff in the background towards the end. So I hope you guys like it. But anyway, back to my story. So I decided I wanted to keep some fish about a year ago. 2 years ago now. It's been 2 years. And so I went and I bought some fish. I honestly did not check out how to take care of fish, nothing, because when I was younger, I had a fish and we just started up the tank, took care of the fish, and the fish were fine. So I knew nothing about nitrogen cycles and all this other stuff, building up bacteria in the tank so that the fish could live. I knew nothing about that. So I decided I was going to get this tank of fish. So I went and bought some fish, basically treated the water, put the fish into the water, but did not know that I had to cycle the tank. So all the fish kept dying. Dying. I go get some more fish. The fish were dying. And finally, I decided that I was going to get some tetras. So these little black and white tetras, I bought the fish, put them in the tank, was doing water changes and putting whatever they say to put in the tank to keep these fish. These fish developed ick, as did the first ones. And ick is just kind of a disease that fish have when they have poor water conditions. And that doesn't mean the water is dirty. Like having too clean a water is not good for fish. I was washing the filter. I did not know that it needed bacteria to build up in the filter in order for the fish to be okay. So the fish developed ick, and I had about 3 or 4 of these tetras in the tank, and they all got the white spots on them like ick, and they all died except for one. And this particular fish, it got the spots on it, but it was still alive. It lost all its fins on the fish. The fish could barely swim. So I went back to the pet store where I bought these fish, and I met a guy at the pet store. It was PetSmart. I met this great guy at the pet store, and he said, all you have to do is make sure you don't do anything to the filter. He gave me some stuff to make sure that the ammonia levels did not build up in the tank. And he said, just do regular water changes and you'll be able to put fish in this tank. So I bought some fish that day, but I still had this other sick fish at home. And he said, you know what, don't worry about that. Just keep doing the water changes. And I debated. I thought, I wonder if I should just throw away the fish that was dying. So it hadn't died yet. It was in the process of dying. I said, should I throw this fish away? And I remembered a saying that my mother always gave me as I was growing up. And she always said to me, Nikki, if it's not dead, don't bury it. Now, you have certain animals that if they get sick or they get hurt, you put them down, meaning that you kill the animal so that they don't have to suffer. But the fish, I said, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? Let me try with this fish. So mind you, it's a schooling fish. So this fish really needed to be with other fish of its kind. But I didn't buy those when I went to the pet shop. I just bought different kinds of fish. I thought this fish was going to die. I'm not even going to lie. I really thought this fish was going to die. But I said, you know what? I'm going to give this fish a chance. And I'm just going to keep doing the water changes and feed and keep doing the water changes and feed. And I would notice a little bit at a time, the fish would come out. It would eat its food and it would go back into one of the little decorations that I had in there, kind of like a little cave. The fish would go in there all the time and hide out. And I thought maybe the fish was dead in there. And when I would do water changes, the fish would be there and the ick started to go away off that fish. The scales started to come back, and little by little over the course of a year, the fish actually made a full recovery. This schooling fish that should be with other fish made a full recovery. And so when I saw that, I ran to the pet store and I told this guy, thank you so much for all the advice you gave me. The fish is still alive. And so I bought other fish like it so that it would have some friends. And do you know that that fish, because it went through that traumatic experience and it lived in there, the only fish of its kind with these other fish, it didn't stay with those new fish that I brought into the tank. It actually did not school with them. And the recovering tetra, this tetra that was dying, when I feed the tank, this tetra is very bold in going to get its food. Like, he's not afraid. I don't know, maybe it's a she, I don't know. But it's not afraid to go up against all the other fish to get its food, while the other ones that are like it, they tend to kind of hang out in the middle of the tank. I feed the fish and they kind of hang out, and when the food falls, they'll eat it. That tetra that was dying, not only did that thing recover, but it also is very aggressive to get what it needs. And I'm not aggressive in terms of fighting, but it is like fearless. This fish is fearless. And to see the recovery that this fish had, why am I telling you this story? Because it's an object lesson for me. Those times where things get so hard, where you feel like giving up. I'm not just talking about in art, I'm just talking about in life. There are times it looks like you may be at the end, like you're about to die in whatever the situation you're in. Please remember this story about this fish. Every time I look at that fish, it's almost like God gave me that to remember. If it's not dead, you don't bury it. You don't ever give in to feel like your life is hopeless. While you still have life on this earth, it is never hopeless. You can always turn things around. And if you cannot change the people around you, like if that's the reason you're having so many issues, you can always change yourself, the way you view the situation, whatever it is. But always remember, if you watch this video and you hear about Nurse Nikki's fish, always remember, you can do whatever it is. You can get through any situation. It's never that bad. And you know what? When you come out on the other side, you can actually come out better having been through that hard situation. Like I told you, this fish doesn't act like the other fish that is it of its kind. It does not. It doesn't school with them. It will go and get its food and not worry about any of the bigger fish that's around it. That fish just seems like, you know what? I'm here. I lived through this hard situation. I deserve to live, and I'm just going to be about my business. Now, I know I'm putting a lot in this story, but I just, please, if anybody's out there and they're having a hard time and you are at the point where you feel like giving up, please remember, you can come out the other side better than the situation you just found yourself in. That's all I wanted to say to you today. This was something that I believe God put on my heart, because this is not the video I intended to make today, but it was placed on my heart, and I pray that somebody that listens to this today will be blessed by it. Just know everything is going to be all right. If you enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification to see when I upload next. If you have not decided after watching this one video that you would like to subscribe to this channel, please watch some of my other videos. Thank you so much for listening. Take care. Bye.